Good morning, dear students. Today we are here with a new lesson that is from your Honeydew book. The chapter name is Glimpses of the Past. At first, we will try to understand the meaning of the title, that is Glimpses of the Past. Glimpses means a quick view or a short view. This is going to be an interesting chapter because it is the only chapter which is presented in a pictorial form. So this lesson is written by S.D. Sawant. Now there are some clues about the lesson before you read. Here are some pictorial glimpses of the history of our country from 1757 to 1857, means 100 year of time. These pictures and speech bubbles will help clarify your understanding of the conditions that led to the event known as the First War of Independence in 1857. Dear students, you have already studied about the first independent war in 1857 in your history books or in previous classes. And in this lesson, we will try to understand that what were the conditions which forced the Indians to do the first war of independence in 1857. Now we will move to the first picture, the first heading, that is the martyrs. And there you can see a singer there, that is Lata Mangeshkar. It is a function in Delhi in 1963. And you can see there our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and next to him Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri, and next to him is Indira Gandhi. And there written on the paper, or the song which is sung by Lata Mangeshkar was, "Oh my countrymen, let your eyes fill with tears as you recall the sacrifices of India's martyrs." In Hindi, I think you have already heard the song, "ए मेरे वतन के लोगों ज़रा आँख में भर लो पानी." I think you have already heard that song. Now we will move to the next page, next pictorial. Now this is a long chapter. We will try to understand it in a short time. So in this second pictorial, there you can see the heading, the company's conquest between 1757 to 1849. So what happened in this paragraph, we will try to understand in short. In India of 1757, the East India Company was in strong position. And if we compare to the Indian princes, they had superior weapons. As you can see here, means when East India Company came here, they have some superior weapons of war. That is why they were very strong in comparison with Indian princes. Besides, Indian princes, they were very short-sighted. Means the Indian princes were short-sighted. They can't see that what was happening to them. As you have already heard that Britishers also used the policy of divide and rule. But the Indian princes or the Indian kings were not able to understand that. They were fighting with each other, and they often used to take the help of the Britishers for the peace. This worked in favor of the company. Means while the Indian princes or Indian kings were taking help from the Britishers, it helped them to divide and rule in India. They could easily subdue the princes one after the others. Means they were taking their thrones one after another. However, the brave Tipu Sultan of Mysore fought the British. He died in the battlefield fighting with Britishers. As you can see, there is a picture of Tipu Sultan here, this one. And there were different kinds of reaction about the British East India Company, there were some people who were thanking to the Britishers. As you can see here, a person is saying that it is God who sent the British. Means they were very thankful with the Britishers, where some other people they were thinking that our princes or kings were overthrown by the Britishers. Means some were very happy with the Britishers, but the others were not too much happy, and they were thinking that Britishers are trying to overthrow our Indian princes. Now we will move to the next heading, that is British rule from 1765 to 1836. Now what happens in these pictorials? And this time in India there were too many practices. Means that was not good practices which were going on in our society, like there was untouchability and child marriage was also there. You have already studied all these things in your SST classes. And in truth, Indian had lost their self-respect. The Britishers subdued them, they scorned them, and the farmers and artisans were in the worst conditions because the heavy taxes was imposed on them. The Britishers also cut the thumbs of expert artisans of India. Means they cut the thumbs, means they made our the artisans helpless. They cut their thumb because they could not make the different new things in India. That is why they cut their thumbs. The British used very method to make maximum profit. The imports from England become tax free. Means whatever was coming from England, that was tax free. As you have already studied that the Britishers used to take away the raw material from India, and after that they manufacture that good, and after that they used to sell the same good in India in a high rate. Is that clear? Now we will move to the next one. This is heading number 4. Ram Mohan Roy. His full name is Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and the period is 1772 to 1833. So what happens at that point of time when untouchability was going on in the society and child marriage was also there, and there were different practices were also imposed in the society. Heavy taxes were imposed on the Indian weavers or Indian artisans. So what happens after that? There came a social reformer. His name was Ram Mohan Roy. His full name is, as I have already told you, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. And he understood that what was going wrong in the country. He tried to reform the society. He taught people that the main percept of all religion were the same. In between 1757 to 1849, he emphasized the practical use of knowledge. He went to England. There he remained for too many years to know that what are the conditions in England. He wanted to try to understand the social conditions of England, the educational system of England. That is why he stayed there for a long time, and that time he also realized that there are some responsibilities of the rulers towards their subjects. Is that clear? Subjects mean in Hindi praja. Okay. He started newspaper in India to make aware the Indian people, but the suspicious Britishers stopped the newspaper in 1823. Now we will move to the fifth heading, that is oppression. Oppression means to stop the raising voices of Indians. As you can see in the picture, the Britishers also passed an act, that was Regulation Act 3, and under this act an Indian could be jailed without any reason. Is that clear? Without any trial court, means without taking him to the trial court, he could be imprisoned. Any Indian could be imprisoned. So that was the Regulation Act 3, and it was also revolted in India. So what happens in 1818, a resolution was passed. Resolution means an act was passed, and that was Regulation Act 3. Under it, an Indian could be jailed without a trial court. The British officers drew large salaries, and the Indians who were working in the British East India Company, they were not paid too much, and the British East India Company was getting more and more profit. By 1829, the British was exporting goods worth 7 crore rupees from India. Even the British Governor General, that was William Bentinck, as you can see on the screen, he said that the bones of cotton weavers are bleaching the plains of India. Means the bones of cotton weavers of India, they have a very tough period is going on in India. The Indian weavers, we can say that the Indian weavers are suffering in India, and they even are not able to earn their food, to earn their livelihood. Thus the British prospered on the ruins of Indian industry. Means the Britishers ruined the Indian industries, and they were getting more powerful, and they were getting more profit day by day, and they were getting more rich. Now we will move to the next section, that is dissatisfaction. As you have understood, there were too many things which was going against of the Indians. That is why there was a dissatisfaction among the Indians about the Britishers. So what happened in 1835? Lord Macaulay suggested that a medium of education in India should be English. As you know that before 1835 in India there was Sanskrit and Hindi was the medium of the study. But this time in 1835 Lord Macaulay suggested that the medium of the study, the medium of the education in India should be in English, and that proposal was implied in India. And there was only one aim. The aim was to produce the clerk. Is that clear? The only aim was to produce only the clerk who can help the British East India Company. They only wanted to educate the Indians to make them only clerk who can work in British East India Company. It happened, but it also produced a new generation of intellectuals in India. Some of them tried to educate the masses. Some decided to convey the grievance of the people to the British Parliament. This act, this decision by Lord Macaulay that there will be English medium in India, and they will educate some clerk who can work for British East India Company, that also created some intellectuals, that generated some intellectuals, some scholars in Indian society also, which was a drawback for the British East India Company. Is that clear? Okay. By 1856 the British were ruling the whole of India. Now they cared little about Indians and their needs, and there were dissatisfaction everywhere in every society. People wanted to get rid of the British East India Company now. Now what happens? The sparks. The sparks means there were some revolt in different parts of the India, so which was led to the 1857 revolt. Now what happens during this time, during this 2 year of period between 1855 to 1857? Under the new rules, Santals had become desperate. In 1855, they rose in rebellion and killed the European in their servants alike. As you have already studied that Santhal revolt was came in act in 1855 because the Santhal, they were tribes and they were forced not to use the natural resources of India. That is why they revolted against the British East India Company in 1855 and they also killed some Europeans. The discontent was brewing in East India Company's army too. Means the discontentment was also in the British East India Company because there were lots of Indians who was also serving in British East India Company. So what happens after that? The Sipahi Mangal Pandey, I think you have already heard about Mangal Pandey. There is a movie also. You can also watch that movie to understand what was happened in 1857 and before 1857. You should watch that movie, that is Mangal Pandey. So there was a Sipahi. There was a Sipahi whose name was Mangal Pandey who attacked his high rank officer in his regiment and he was executed to death. The English did not care about Indian customs and what happens after that? There was dissatisfaction everywhere. So there were two things. First thing was chapati and second thing was lotus. Is that clear? The chapatis were sent from village to village. With them was a message that their native emperor would want their services. Means these were the symbols of the revolt of 1857. First thing was chapatis, second thing was lotus, a flower. Is that clear? By which the Indians were spreading the message among the masses that they need to unite now. Similarly, a lotus flower was circulated among Indian soldiers. The masses also gave all help and support. So chapatis were circulated from village to village to spread the message that the emperor need their services. Emperor need the services of the subject. And similarly, there was a lotus flower was circulated in Indian soldiers who are working in the British Army, British East India Company, and the lotus also gave the message that they need the support to the Indians who want to revolt against the 1857. Now what happens? Finally, it was the time of revolt in 1857. This incident we have already studied in your SST books in too many times in your previous classes, and in this class you will also study about it if you have not studied yet. So what happens in this revolt? The revolt started at Meerut. Meerut is in Uttar Pradesh. The Sepoy who had revolted marched to Delhi. The Sepoys marched to Delhi because Delhi was the center from where the East India Company was doing his all work. They were shouting slogans in favor of Bahadur Shah Jafar. I think you have studied about Bahadur Shah Jafar. He was the last Mughal emperor and he was the leader of 1857 revolt. The rebellion spread wider. Many landlords has lost their lands. They helped the revolt. Means the Indian landlords also helped in the 1857 revolt. Now what happened? There starts the first fight for the freedom in 1857. Many rulers like Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow were bitter. The England had taken away their kingdom. Popular leaders like Maulvi Ahmadullah of Faizabad requested the common man to revolt against the British East India Company. Azimullah Khan told Tatya Tope to make Nana Sahib the leader of that war of independence. All over the North India, the people fought small battles against the Britishers. 80-year-old Kunwar Singh of Bihar received a bullet in his fist. As you can see here, this one. So 80-year-old. Is that clear? Means there was a small battles were all over the North India. 80-year-old Kunwar Singh of Bihar received a bullet in his wrist, but he just cut his wrist and he threw it into the Ganga and said that it was the last offering to the river Ganga. So this lesson ends here, as we have already known to the fact that in 1857 that revolt was also oppressed by the Britishers, and too many freedom fighters were died in that revolt. So this lesson gets end here. There are not word meanings in this chapter, so you will write down the comprehensional check questions I will provide you, and these question answers I will provide you the solutions which you have to write down in your notebook. And you have to do one thing, that this one, you need to draw this picture in your notebook.